Check, check. Test 1, 2. IU East Volleyball at Georgetown College. Saturday, September 13th, 2014.
There's a bit of a delay. It's still.
Mic 2 check, mic 2 check, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Good. Hello, volleyball fans, once again, and welcome to IU East Volleyball on the Red Wolf Sports Network. I'm Caleb Gillock, along with Kyle Wright, the IU East Assistant Athletic Director and Sports Information Director. Kyle, how are you this afternoon?
Doing well. Glad to be probably about 5 degrees warmer here. We're in the middle of Kentucky, so a little bit south, so a little warmer here than it was when we left Richmond. Yeah,
it was definitely a little cool when we left. Of course, we were at Georgetown College this afternoon for this afternoon's 3 o'clock matchup between the Georgetown College Tigers and the IU East Red Wolves. It's about, a 2.5 hour drive down here this morning?
It's about right. Not too bad. Just straight down I-75. Nice little road trip for a nice Saturday match.
Well, like we said, we're at the Davis Reed Alumni Gym in Georgetown, Kentucky for this afternoon's matchup between the IU East Red Wolves and the Georgetown College Tigers. The IU East volleyball team faces a top 25 opponent for the third time this season. That's number 13 Georgetown this afternoon. They're here at Georgetown's own home court. Of course, the last time the Red Wolves were out, they fell in 3 sets on September 11th. That was just Thursday against IU Kokomo. IU East is now 1-1 in NAIA matches against Georgetown. Both matches went 5 sets in the past. The most recent meeting, however, was in the 2012 NAIA Volleyball National Championship final site. Kyle, you probably know a little bit about that. How did that go?
Again, it was a 5-set match. It was the first match of the national tournament that year. Very back and forth match. Just so happened Georgetown had kind of the last run of the match, and it was late in the 5th set, so that's what made the win. Kind of the reverse. The first time the two teams played, that one went 5. That time IU East had kind of the last run, and when it happens that late, that'll get you the win. So a history of very close matches between these two teams.
Well, just a little over 3 minutes before we get going here at the Davis Reed Alumni Gym. The Red Wolves have also faced number 12 Park University and now number 9 Columbia College in August. That was just recently. IU East has played the toughest schedule to date among the KIAC programs, according to the Massey Computer Rankings. Kyle, tell us a little bit about this season so far for the Red Wolves.
Well, 3-7 record coming into this. Again, a very tough early season schedule. If you divide the season into 3 parts, the Red Wolves are playing about 30 matches this year. The first 10, today 11 matches, by far the toughest third of the season as far as strength of schedule. We mentioned playing 3 teams in the top 25. Another one, Grace College, which IU East played in the second match of the season. They've actually risen to 31st in the rankings. So within these first 11 matches, 4 of those matches against top 31 teams. You want better results. I mean, you can play all the tough teams in the world, but you want to see progress. Eventually, you want to see some wins. That hasn't happened to date. Saw some good signs of progress against number 9 Columbia. All 3 of those sets were competitive. The Red Wolves hit well over 250. I think volleyball hitting average, kind of the same as batting average. 250 in a match against a top 25 team is quite good. So some signs there, but then kind of a step back, I think most of the players and coaches would say. Dropped the conference opener against IU Kokomo on Thursday, September 11th. That went in 3 sets after beating IU Kokomo in 3 sets earlier in the season. So looking for a bounce-back performance here. I guess the opportunity the Red Wolves have here, we mentioned this is the 3rd top 25 team they've played, but based on the current rankings, it's also the last top 25 team you're going to play. So from my experiences, you need to look at it as an opportunity. It's one more chance to test your game or maybe even raise up your game to the level of a top 25 team. If you win, great. If you don't win, if you can carry that level into opponents that aren't necessarily top 25 teams, that can only mean good things for you down the road.
Well, of course, Georgetown, the 13th ranked team right now in the NAIA. Georgetown has won 8 in a row since starting the season off 0-3. The Tigers' losses came against the number 1, number 11, and number 20 teams in the current top 25. Just inside a minute to go before we get started with the starting lineups and national anthem here at the Davis Reed Alumni Gym. Kyle, I think it definitely should be a very good matchup this afternoon.
Well, we'll hope so for IUs. We'll hope the team that played well against Columbia, it's been, 13 days now. The team that played well against Columbia shows up. I guess it's a day of 13s. It's September 13th. They're playing the 13th ranked team, and we want them to play like they did 13 days ago. So usually that's not a lucky number, but maybe 13 will mean some good things for IU East today.
Teams out on the floor getting lined up for the starting lineups and national anthem here in Georgetown, Kentucky.
This is actually Caleb, this is the second match of the day. Georgetown played IU Southeast earlier today. That was an 11 o'clock match. I don't have the exact score. I do know Georgetown won. It may not be a anthem, but I do assume that they'll do lineups to start out the match.
All right, looks like we're about ready to get going here. And it kind of looks like, from the looks of it, we may not have either.
Yeah, I guess we're just going to play. I know I talked to Georgetown SID throughout the week. This is their they have a football team here. Actually, a pretty big one. They've got a 20,000-seat stadium just outside here. This is their opening day, so I know most of their announcer types and such help out with the football game. So we're just going to go straight. Let's play some volleyball.
Red Wolves having their first home game this coming Wednesday for the first time in a long time.
Second one of the season. You're right. It feels like it's the first one. It's been so long. We did have one August 20th, but looking forward. And actually, we play in Richmond. It's an away game. It's at Earlham College on the 17th. So those of you in Richmond, okay, technically it's not a home game, but you can see the Red Wolves in Richmond on Wednesday the 17th, and then looking forward to hosting a tri-match on September 20th back at Seton Catholic. The first match is at noon against IU Southeast. Other matches at 4 o'clock against Purdue Calumet. IU Southeast and Purdue Calumet will play in between. If you can only come to one, we'd love to see you for both. If you can make it a priority to come to the IU Southeast match, that's a conference game, nothing against Purdue Calumet, but it's not a conference match. So if you can only make it to one, could sure use your support trying to even the conference record against the Grenadiers at noon a week from today.
All right. Well, definitely looking forward to that, as I'm sure the Red Wolves also are eager to have some home matches.
Yes, it's been an 11-match road trip, so I know they're happy to be playing close to home.
Well, the Tigers will serve to get things started here in the first set. That server is number 12. That's Lindsay Martindale for the Tigers. Attempted kill there by Corey Muha. Red Wolves really playing well right now on the defensive side.
Yeah, that's very strong. If we could, some of the August matches when the defense wasn't quite as strong as we just saw there, if we could take that defense and extend it over 100 points or so, some of those August matches would have gone the other way. So if that's any indication, that's a good start.
So Red Wolves get the point to begin the match. 1-0 lead for IU East. And another point there to the Red Wolves, 2-0 lead.
Obviously extremely early, can't make a whole lot of judgments after 2 points, but the Red Wolves were in a big hole pretty much right after that in the first two games against IU Kokomo on Thursday. So, again, you hate to draw too many conclusions from just 2 points, but any kind of a good start is something I know the coaching staff would have been looking for in this one.
Nice block up front by Livingston. However, it looks like it may have been tipped out. 2-1 now. Point to the Tigers. Here's the serve from number 2, Maddie Kunkel. That point to the Red Wolves, 3-1. Morgan Dobbs just checked in for the Red Wolves. Here's the serve from Livingston. And unable to keep a hand up there in the front is Detweiler, and that'll give a point to the Tigers, 3-2. A 3-2 match. Red Wolves have the 1-point lead. Tristan Schelhaas serving for the Tigers, and a kill there by Georgetown, ties it up at 3. Kristen Schelhaas continuing to serve for Georgetown College. Yoder trying to keep the ball alive, and that's going to be 4 hits called on the Red Wolves. Point to the Tigers, 4-3. Another point to the Red Wolves, ties it up at 4. 4-4 in the first set against Georgetown College. Kill out of bounds by number 7, Lawrence Knightmiller. 5-4 lead now for IU East. Here's the serve. Kill by number 3, Caroline Mayer.
She's the, I don't want to say the big gun. She's got the most kill. Mayer has the highest kill average for Georgetown, but I will say she's first among equals. They've got 8 players that average at least a kill or more each set. So she is the highest kill total, but Georgetown has an awful lot of weapons on that front line.
Mayer's actually a set-foot middle hitter. Leads Georgetown with 2.8 kills and 0.7 blocks per set. Actually, 8 of the Tigers average more than 1 kill per set. 6-5 lead for the Red Wolves. Here's the serve. IU East able to keep the ball alive, but this one will go under the net and give a point to the Tigers, tied at 6.
Good hustle there by the libero, Madison Yoder. Didn't pay off, but you saw her dive in. She did keep the ball alive. IU East was called for 4 touches. It wasn't a kill. That's a good first step now. If the rest of the Red Wolves are kind of get to where they can expect Madison and the others to get to anything, that's one thing that can improve the defensive performance as well.
Ball there out of bounds on the right side. 7-6 lead now for the Tigers. Neither team has had a lead over 2 points since the beginning of the set, and that one was actually by the Red Wolves. Point there to the Tigers, 8-6. IU East unable to keep the ball alive. A point to the Tigers, now 9-6. I can't really tell who it is, but I just happened to look down in front of us. One of the Tigers players is appearing to be stretched out by...
looks like Allison Weirborn, the right side for Georgetown, is getting some extra stretching.
Point there to the Tigers. 4-point lead now for Georgetown, 10-6. Point to the Red Wolves. That makes it a 3-point set, 10-7.
3 missed serves already for Georgetown. I imagine, as a Red Wolf fan, you want to see that continue. I imagine they'll clean that up quickly. They might take a little bit off the serve or go for a more conservative placement.
Here's the serve from the Red Wolves. Trying to block up front, but a point to the Tigers, 11-7.
I don't know if it's coming across the video screen. I don't know if you agree with me, Caleb. Georgetown has as many hard hitters as I think we've seen all at once.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you there.
And again, power's not everything, but an adjustment the Red Wolves have to make. This team definitely hits harder than I wasn't at the Missouri trip, but any that I've seen this year out of the 7 matches I've seen.
Point there to the Red Wolves as the ball falls to the floor. 11-8, now down to a 3-point game. Yoder going back to serve for the Red Wolves. Madison Yoder, a 5'5 freshman, defensive specialist out of Ben Davis High School in Indianapolis. A point there to the Tigers, 12-8. Lindsay Martindale back to serve now for Georgetown College. Martindale's a 5'9 junior out of Santa Fe, Texas. They'll go long out of bounds. Now 13-8, a 5-point lead for Georgetown, their largest lead of the set. Serve from Martindale. Red Wolves able to keep the ball alive. And a kill up front by number 14. That's Casey Massey. She's a 6'1" right side junior from Orem, Utah. 14-8 now for the Tigers. That serve by Martindale goes into the net and will give a point to the Red Wolves. Kyle, if you're IU East, what do you have to do right here?
Again, clean up the passing for the most part. I probably sound like a broken record, but that's what leads to being able to get a good swing on it. Red Wolves have actually been there on a lot of these very hard hits or powerful attacks by Georgetown, and they're getting a lot more balls up than what I saw. The last I saw them was in early August. Now, at this level, against a team like Georgetown, just getting the ball up, not really having a strong reply, that's still not going to be enough to make any headway on the scoreboard. You've got to take those, get them to the setter, and be able to get a swing on it in return. But there are some signs of progress. Some balls that I was seeing just flat out hit the floor earlier in the season. They're not hitting the floor. The Red Wolves are getting a hand on them. There's still progress that needs to be made. And against a team like Georgetown, you're going to get plenty of opportunities to, if you can handle attacks like this, you'll be able to handle attacks from just about anyone. So not quite getting a swing on it, or eventually getting a swing on it to be able to get points on the scoreboard, but getting a hand on a lot more balls than what I saw in early August.
Point to the Red Wolves, 16-10. Trailing Georgetown as Mallory Livingston will go back to serve for IU East.
Mallory, in my opinion, hitting-wise, has taken it to a higher level this year. She was our leading attacker this year, but the hitting average much higher this year, and hitting from everywhere with a purpose. I've been really impressed with Mallory's attacking so far this early this season.
2 hits called on the Red Wolves, 17-10 here in the first set, as number 10, Kristen Shellhouse, will go back to serve for the Tigers. And that one will go out of bounds off the Red Wolves. Now an 8-point lead for Georgetown, 18-10. Looks like IU East is going to take a timeout. We'll take a quick timeout as well. We'll be right back with more IU East Volleyball on the Red Wolves Sports Network. Hello, I'm Caleb Gillock, the host of Inside IU East Sports, a show where we talk with coaches, players, and other guests about what's happening with IU East athletics.
In the top 100 high school seniors.
Last year we were fortunate enough to do a variety of things on the track and then off to be able to be considered.
Make sure to join us on Friday nights at 8:30 p.m. on WETV Channel 20. Welcome back to IU East Volleyball on the Red Wolves Sports Network. We're in Georgetown, Kentucky at Georgetown College. Right now, the IU East Red Wolves trailing Georgetown College 18-10 in the first set. IU East just took a timeout there after the ball was tipped out of bounds and gave another point to the Tigers. Kyle, what have you thought about the set so far?
Georgetown's missed a lot of serves that helped IU East stay in it early on. Once they cleaned that up, Georgetown's kind of made a run. I'm seeing some progress on as far as IU East getting some of those attacks up. But again, whereas before they were hitting the floor, now we're sending free balls over. That's progress. Against a team like Georgetown, that's not enough progress. It needs to be get it off the floor, get a good set, get a good swing. But that is preferable to just letting it flat out hit the floor. So some progress, but still more progress that needs to be made to make a dent in the scoreboard.
Morgan Dobbs just had a kill for the Red Wolves, 18-11 now. Here's the serve. And that one out of bounds off the Tigers. Another point to the Red Wolves, 18-12. Looks like Bailey Gates serving for the Red Wolves. Having a little hard time slinging that far down the court. Nice block up front by the Red Wolves. Looked like Detweiler and Steinbrenner up front possibly.
Got a hand landed on the IU East side, though, but good to see them there. Just next steps to get it to land on the Georgetown side of the floor.
19-12 now the score. Georgetown leads as their number 13. That's Stephanie Guerin. Serves. Red Wolves able to keep the ball alive, but this one will go long, and a point to the Tigers, 20-12. Serve there by Guerin goes long, and a point to the Red Wolves, 20-13. That brings up Katrina Detweiler to serve for the Red Wolves. Another block up front by the Red Wolves. Dobbs with a hand on the ball, but it goes under the net. 21-13 now after the point goes to the Tigers. They serve from Lawrence Knight-Miller. Another point to the Tigers, 22-13. Serve goes out of bounds, and a point to the Red Wolves, 22-14. Now only an 8-point set. Madison Mangus going back to serve for the Red Wolves. Mangus is a 5'6" sophomore out of Muncie, Indiana. Point to the Tigers after that one goes out of bounds, 23-14. Courtney Grafton, the Georgetown libero, serving for the Tigers. Tori Muha with the kill there for Georgetown. 24-14, set point now for the Tigers. Good effort there by the Red Wolves with the kill. Looked like Morgan Steinbrenner up front with the kill. 24-15. Madison Yoder serving for the Red Wolves once again. Blocked up front by IU East. 24-16. Now we'll drop in between a couple of the Georgetown players. 24-17. Nice block up front by the Red Wolves. Another point, 24-18, down to a 6-point game.
Probably a little too late this set, but 2 blocks in the last 3 points for IU East. If that's something that can carry over to the next 2 sets, that would be a very good thing for the Red Wolves.
All right, well, we have a timeout on the floor. Georgetown leads the IU East Red Wolves 24-18. We'll be right back with more IU East Volleyball on the Red Wolves Sports Network.
This is where a busy mom can work toward a bachelor's degree from a top national university during softball practice. It's where a service member can continue his college studies from anywhere in the world, and where you'll benefit from one of the country's most effectively delivered online programs.
Woohoo!
So, if you've ever wondered if a college education is really worth it, this is where you'll see that it is. This is Indiana University East Online.
Welcome back to IU East Volleyball on the Red Wolves Sports Network. Georgetown College currently leads the IU East Red Wolves 24-18 in the first set, but the Red Wolves have started to rally back here toward the end of the set, Kyle.
4 points in a row. 2 of those were blocks by IU East on the front row. Again, a lot of IU East points early on were actually missed serves by Georgetown, so good to see the Red Wolves earning some points against the 13th ranked team in the country. You got to figure if they can earn it against a team that's 13th, they can earn it against a lot of the teams that are remaining on the schedule.
More nice defensive effort there by the Red Wolves, but that one's going to fall across the net and give Georgetown the first set win with a 25-18 score. So Georgetown takes the first set to lead the match 1-0, 25-18. We'll be right back with more IU East Red Wolves Volleyball on the Red Wolves Sports Network. And welcome back to IU East Volleyball on the Red Wolf Sports Network. Of course, Georgetown now has the 1-0 lead in the match after winning the first set 25-18. Kyle, what do you think we saw in the first set?
I mean, Georgetown's good. There's the most impressive stat I saw in them doing the pregame research. They're 5th in the country in kills. That's 14 a set. What that means is basically they don't need your help to win. A lot of teams, in fact most teams, they need either some errors or some missed attacks or missed serves or something from the other team to get to 25. They don't need a whole lot of help from the other side. They're going to get a whole lot of points on what they're doing on their own side of the net. So what that means for IU East, that means just can't give any points away, which I really don't think they did. I don't recall a lot of missed serves, a couple missed attacks, but that was just the fact they had to kind of go for it against a strong defense. So I actually did pretty well on that end. But just, Georgetown's not going to make a whole lot of mistakes. That means you've just got to be really playing your A game, really have everything clean on your side of the net to kind of keep up with the Tigers.
All right, well, Madison Yoder is going to serve to start things off for the Red Wolves here in the second set. That'll be off the hands of Mangus and give a 1-point lead to the Tigers, 1-0.
Muha just had a open angle there going across her body and took advantage of it.
The serve from the Tigers. That one goes long just by a little and ties things up at 1 now for the Red Wolves. Red Wolves tried to block up front, but that'll give a point to the Tigers, 2-1. Georgetown has the 2-1 lead as Kristen Schillhouse will serve for the Tigers, and that gives a point to Georgetown, 3-1.
Madison Yoder thought she had it on the dive, but they're going to say it hit the hardwood first.
Off the net. Halen Kelly was able to keep the ball alive for the Red Wolves. The point to the Tigers, however, 4-1.
That was one, again, that would have been a clean ace earlier in the year. So the Red Wolves got that one back over. Again, a team like Georgetown, you're losing the point anyway. But if they can, all right, the first step's get the ball off the floor. The next steps later on will be to get a clean set, get a clean swing. So, again, that'll sound weird because it probably didn't look good, but that point 2 points ago was a sign of progress. Again, that's better than an outright ace. And if they can just continue to, okay, next step is a direct pass to the setter, that will lead to good things later on.
5-1 lead for the Georgetown Tigers. Now increased to another point, 6-1 now for Georgetown.
Had hoped IU East won 4 of the last 5 points to close the first set. Had hoped that meant maybe a little bit of momentum to start the second one, but Georgetown's done a good job of erasing that positive momentum that IU East had. That was a heck of an adjustment by Mallory. She either the ball wasn't there when she expected or she jumped early, but either way she made a wonderful adjustment to be able to get a couple fingertips on it and direct that to somewhere where there were no defenders.
Morgan Dobbs takes out Madison Mangus. So Dobbs in for the Red Wolves now. Kill there by the Tigers makes it 7-2, 5-point lead for Georgetown. Stephanie Guerin serving for Georgetown College. There's Bailey Gates for the Red Wolves. Tigers trying to keep this one alive as the libero hit it off of the ceiling here in the gym. Give a point to the Red Wolves, 7-3.
Also appeared to be a nice mid-air adjustment by Bailey Gates as well. She definitely has the ability to, in football terms, go up and make some plays, and she did that on that ball in the middle.
I don't know if it's just me either, but compared to a lot of the gyms we've been in, this one has a really low ceiling.
It does. These days, most volleyball coaches are okay with that because they figure they want the ball staying low anyway. You want the quicker offense. So you're definitely right. It is a lower ceiling, but in this day and age, a lot of coaches actually consider it good training. It forces you to keep it low, not give the other side time to react. So who knows, maybe that's part of the reason that Georgetown is ranked 13th there. I believe they practice here as well, so that would definitely force them to have good quick ball control.
That one just across the top of the net and falls onto the Red Wolf side. Gives a point to Georgetown, 9-3.
Another thing, I'm not sure if it's coming across the video or not. Georgetown, most of their serves very, very, very low. That again, we've mentioned they missed quite a few. Is looking at their serving stats in between sets. They do have about, for every ace, they have about 1.5 service errors, which from what I've been taught, usually you want 50-50. So, but what I assume is that they're willing to keep it low, get the other team out of the system. They're willing probably to live with a few errors as long as it gives the other team trouble when it does go in. Nice touch by Ashley Howe there for Georgetown.
11-3 lead now for Georgetown. Tigers having to quickly react there. Lots of action on both sides of the net right now. And that one's going to drop between Steinbrenner and Detweiler. And a point to the Tigers, 12-3. IU East is going to take a timeout as Georgetown College leads 12-3 into the second set. We'll be right back with more IU East volleyball on the Red Wolves Sports Network.
I'm Dr. Ganesh Ramachandran, the region's only hand specialist at Reed Orthopedic Center. Patients love how easy it is having everything under one roof and how easy it is to get here. Right here at Reed Orthopedic Center, right here in Richmond.
And welcome back to IU East volleyball on the Red Wolves Sports Network. The IU East Red Wolves taking on the Georgetown College Tigers. Right now, Georgetown leads the match 1-0. And leads in the second set 12-3. Both teams on the floor out of the timeout, ready to go. Looks like number 7 is going to be serving for Georgetown, and that is Lauren Schneidmiller. Steinbrenner up front with the kill for the Red Wolves, now 12-4. Trina Detweiler serving for the Red Wolves. And killed up front by the Tigers. That makes it 13-4 now for Georgetown. One goes out of play off the Red Wolves, and 14-4, now a 10-point lead for the Tigers.
Some of those serves that were hitting the net earlier, going over the net and giving the Red Wolves some trouble now. They've had plenty of zip on them all the way through, and now the Red Wolves are having to deal with all of them. Not a lot of missed serves now, so that's the reason Georgetown's had an easier time, or one of the reasons Georgetown's has a bigger lead in this second set.
And they're going to call that one out of bounds and a point to the Red Wolves, 14-5. Madison Mangus coming in to serve for IU East. And that serve goes long and a point to the Tigers, 15-5. So Georgetown College has the 15-5 lead here in the second set and the 1-0 lead of the match. And that one will be a point to the Red Wolves after it goes out of bounds, 15-6. Madison Yoder back to serve for the Red Wolves out of Ben Davis High School in Indianapolis. Livingston there for the Red Wolves. That one's going to fall on the Tiger side. And a point to IU East, 15-7, cuts it down to 8. And another point to the Red Wolves, 15-8 now, has the lead cut down to 7 here in the second set. The serve from Yoder across the net over to the Tigers. And a kill there by, looks like number 6. That's Allison Wilburn. That was just down here in front of us.
I say whatever stretches they had her doing, I guess I need to do the same stretches because she got up and just put a hurting on that ball.
Looks like Maddie Kunkel will be serving for the Tigers. 16-8 here in the second set. Georgetown has the lead.
Speaking of putting a hurting on that ball.
A nice effort there by Caitlin Kelly for the Red Wolves over the top of the net easily. 16-9 cuts it down to 7.
It's a good attack by Mallory. Good reaction by Caitlin Kelly. Georgetown got it back, which was quite impressive on their part. There's been some times this year where we've thought we've had the point won, and when it's come back, it has led to not quite a quick reaction to it as maybe we'd like. Caitlin Kelly never went to sleep on the play, was ready for the ball to come back, was able to find an opening in the defense.
Now it's going to go out of bounds off of Mallory Livingston. A point to the Tigers, 17-9. And that one's going to be off the hands and out of bounds on the tip by the Tigers. A point to the Red Wolves, 17-10. Morgan Dodge checking back in for IU East into the front row. And that will go under the net off the hands of the Tigers, 17-11.
Very well-placed serve by Mallory. I think the most IU East was down this set was 10, which means they've outscored them by 4 since then. Again, they had a bit of a run at the end of the first set. They're within range in this second set. Just see if they can keep up some strong play. We want to have some closely contested sets. You want there to be some pressure on at some point in this match just because you want to get some experience playing some must-win points against a high-level team. Once you fall down by a big amount, the mentality kind of changes. Not in a bad way, just there's not quite as much pressure there because you are down so much. So it'd be a really good thing for IU East if they could get themselves in a situation where they have to play some pressure points against a very high-quality team.
18-11. Both teams had to work really hard there before the last point, but that point goes to the Red Wolves off of Dobbs. 18-12. Now has the lead cut down to 6. Both teams working hard again, trying to get the point here. And this one's going to be tipped out of bounds off the Tigers. A point to the Red Wolves, 18-13.
That was well placed by Katrina Detweiler. I'm pretty sure intentionally went off the hands of the Georgetown blocker. That's twice in the last few points that she's done that. So, if you can't go around them or over them, sometimes you just got to go through them. And that's what Katrina's been able to do on the last couple points.
Red Wolves now have the lead cut down to 5, looking to narrow it down to 4 on this play. And a point to the Tigers.
They're going to say Morgan Steinbrenner. I should know better than that. Morgan Steinbrenner with the touch of the net there.
All right, so lead back up to 6 now for the Tigers. serve by the Tigers goes into the net. Now 19-14. Katrina Detweiler serving for the IU East Red Wolves. And that one will be out of bounds off of the Tigers on the Red Wolf side. 19-15. So the Red Wolves slowly but surely coming back here at the end of the set.
If they can string together about 2 more points, then suddenly things are a lot more interesting than some folks might have thought at the start of this set.
And another point to the Red Wolves. And that's going to force Georgetown to take a timeout as the lead has been cut down to 3. Georgetown leads 19-16 here in the second set. We'll be right back with more IU East Volleyball on the Red Wolves Sports Network.
Dylan Newman had a terrible dislocated shoulder after a bad dirt bike accident. The long-term solution, surgery and intense rehab.
I trusted Reed Orthopedics because they had already fixed my ankle. And within 4 months of my surgery, Dr. Miller and my Reed therapist, April, helped me to regain my motion and most of my strength. Thanks to Reed Ortho, I can get back to what I love. It's all about trust. Right, Dr. Miller?
Right here at Reed.
Right here in Richmond.
And welcome back to IU East Volleyball on the Red Wolves Sports Network. The Red Wolves have been rallying back here toward the end of the second set and have the lead narrowed down to 3. Georgetown has the 3-point lead, 19-16 here in the second set. Georgetown also has the lead in the match, 1-0. So Katrina Detweiler will be serving for the Red Wolves. And we're going to redo the play as it looks like there's a little miscommunication between officials and players.
It looks like Casey Massey wasn't ready on the Georgetown side. Whistle hadn't blown. The Red Wolves should have waited. Replay, and here we go. See if we can cut to 2.
And a kill there by number 14. That's Casey Massey that
it is
kind of waiting on there.
I guess she was. There was a reason she was, or something she was getting ready for. Obviously, we're on the IU East side. Prefer to say mostly good about IU East, but to have to give Georgetown credit for a good response coming out of that timeout after IU East put a big run on them.
That one goes out of play, and a point to the Red Wolves, 20-17. Madison Mangus goes back to serve for IU East here at the end of the second set. Here's the serve for Mangus. And another tough kill there by the Tigers. And that one will be a point to the Red Wolves out of play, 20-18.
A happy miss. Red Wolves went to defend it, and they're going to say it missed us, so a fortuitous turn of events there for IU East. Only down by 2. They're still alive in this set.
Massey with another kill there for the Tigers. Makes it a 3-point lead once again for Georgetown, 21-18.
Let's see if the Red Wolves can continue to hang tough. We mentioned earlier, once you're down 10, it kind of takes the pressure off. You can kind of play freely, which I think is what IU East did. Let's see if they can, even if they don't win the set, if they can stay even or close the gap even more in this set with the pressure on a little bit. That would be a good sign.
Nice block up front by the Tigers, and that makes it a 4-point game now, 22-18. And that will be off the net by Casey Massey. Point to the Red Wolves, 22-19. So IU East still hanging in there.
Yeah, they basically need 2 for 1 the rest of the way. I think the math will work out. They can get 2. Yeah, that would tie it at 23. So they can go 2 for 1 from here out. That's what they need mathematically to pull out this set.
And off the net there by the Tigers. A point to the Red Wolves, 22-20. Now back to a 2-point set.
All right, they got their 2. This would be gravy. Again, 2 for 1 on all the side-out exchanges. That would get IU East in the set. Nice serve. Great placement by Madison Yoder.
Cuts it down to 1 point, 22-21. Georgetown has the lead and takes a timeout. We'll be right back with more IU East Volleyball on the Red Wolves Sports Network.
I'm Dr. Ganesh Ramachandran, the region's only hand specialist at Reed Orthopedic Center. Patients love how easy it is having everything under one roof and how easy it is to get here. Right here at Reed Orthopedic Center, right here in Richmond.
And welcome back to IU East Volleyball on the Red Wolves Sports Network. Of course, IU East has been rallying back and now has it to a 1 point game here in the second set, 22-21. Georgetown College still has the lead after they just took the timeout there. Kyle, what have you thought about this comeback here in the second set?
Just a really good response from IU East. I think they were down by 10. 14-4 is the number that's sticking in my head. I think it was somewhere around there. So assuming that's right, that means they've outscored them 17-8 since then. And again, against a team the caliber of Georgetown, that's a really good response. Now, again, let's see how they perform under pressure. Playing when you're down by 10, not quite as much pressure as when you got it to a 1 point game against the top 25 team. So if you're not going to win the set, make darn sure you make Georgetown earn it. Keep your level of play high on your side of the net.
All right, 23-21 now after that point went to the Tigers. And that one drops. There's a little miscommunication there between the Red Wolves. 24-21. Set point now for the Tigers. This is actually where things started to fall into place for the Red Wolves in the first set.
Right. Again, you wanted to make them earn it, make Georgetown earn it. So 2 basically unforced errors coming out of that timeout after you cut it to 1. Losing you can live with. Losing that way probably not quite you want to see. But still in it, 24-22. Still a chance to make amends for those mistakes.
Caitlin Kelly serving for the Red Wolves, 24-22. And that one will fall onto the Red Wolves side. And 25-22, Georgetown will take the second set and lead the match 2-0 here at Georgetown College. We'll be right back with more IU East Volleyball on the Red Wolves Sports Network. All right, and welcome back to IU East Volleyball on the Red Wolf Sports Network. Georgetown College currently leads the match 2-0 after winning the first and second sets 25-18 and 25-22 there in the second set. Just about ready to get going here in the third set as we're up here in really kind of a loud corner today, and it's been a little bit of adjusting with the way we've got our set up here, but for the most part we've made it work, and looking forward to this third set.
IU East closed the second set on a good run. They outscored them 18-11 in the latter stages of the second set. Now they were far enough behind that Georgetown was able to hang on to win the set. If IU East can keep that level of play to start the third set, that'd be good. Now, we were having this exact same conversation about 20 minutes ago because IU East had a really strong conclusion to the first set, and then things kind of got away real quick. So if you're Georgetown, you want to see that again. If you're IU East, that's something you want to guard against. You don't want to see a repeat of what happened to start the second set.
Well, Georgetown will serve to begin the third set. That's number 12, Lindsay Martindale, and her serve will go into the net and give a 1-0 lead to the Red Wolves to begin the third set. Looks like Caitlin Kelly going back to serve for the Red Wolves. Allison Wilburn is trying to kill the ball there, but it goes into the net as well. A 2-0 lead for the Red Wolves.
Early indications positive as far as keeping some of that momentum going.
Barrow fell to the floor there as she got the ball across the net, but both teams able to keep the ball alive. Yoder with a hand on the ball. And
Madison Yoder saved that. Yep, Yoder with a nice play there.
I would say this is definitely the longest rally of the day so far.
Maybe the season, if not the longest in length. If you multiply quality of the play times the length, I would say this is the best point of the year. Because this is not bump ball. There's been a few free balls, but for the most part, it's pass set kill. Both teams able to keep it alive.
After the long play, the point will go to the Tigers after the ball goes under the net, 2-1. Kyle, I know you do stats at majority of the matches, and I'm sure that normally a situation like that would be a statistician's nightmare.
Yeah, points like that is the reason I have no hair. I mean, it was a great point to watch, but if you run the stat program, for those that aren't familiar with volleyball stats, every touch is a stat. It'd be like in football if you had to measure every block, measure every handoff. That's what it's like. So a point like the one we saw 2 points ago, that's the reason that my hair loss is accelerating.
2-2 now after the point goes to the Tigers here in the third set. They have the 2-0 lead in the match. There's the serve from Maddie Kunkel.
And we joked about that long point. The bummer of it for IU East, if IU East gets that point, they're up 3-0. And again, it's early, but wow, what a momentum boost that would have been to start the set. Instead, Georgetown's now won 3 in a row. It looks like that long point has kind of twitched the momentum in their favor.
There's a point to the Tigers. 4-2. Kyle, what exactly was the call there?
She put both hands. I thought maybe it was back row attack. That's when the setter is actually in the back row, not allowed to jump. And yeah, Caitlin is lined up back there, so I think that was what it was. Caitlin, our setter, went for the block, but she's started the point in a back row position, which not allowed to jump in front of that 10-foot line.
Well, the serve from the 5'3" defensive specialist sophomore for the Tigers goes into the net and gives a point to the Red Wolves, 4-3. And a point to the Tigers there as that one falls to the floor, 5-3, a 2-point lead for Georgetown.
Good eyes by Wilborn. I'm curious if she actually she made adjusted midair. I'm curious if she actually saw the opening develop and was able to had enough eye-hand coordination to make the adjustment, or if she was planning on going there all along. But either way, either an impressive read or an impressive attack by Wilborn for Georgetown.
Another point to the Tigers. 3-point lead, 6-3. You're talking about hand-eye coordination. I have to say that is one thing that really kind of amazes me about this sport. It's just the hand-eye coordination and how fast they can react to some of the things that happen.
It's very amazing, especially I watched a lot of college ball when I went to Valparaiso, which was a Division I program. But even the development in the sport, this was in the late 90s. We're obviously in the early 2010s now. The development of the sport in general since that time, so much faster, and the players just so skilled, even at the NAIA level.
Well, I know if you put me out there, I'm not going to be able to react that fast. So I'll stay up here and do this, and they can play down there. 7-4 lead now for Georgetown. Stephanie Guerin serving for the Tigers. Almost blocked up front. They're able to keep the ball alive. And a point to the Tigers makes it a 4-point lead, 8-4. And just happened to notice that Allison Wilborn's back down here being stretched out again, Kyle.
As long as you can do the job when she's out there. I mean, Larry Bird spent a lot of the later stages of his career being stretched and still was dominant when he was out there. So if it works, it works.
That point went to the Red Wolves, 8-5, as Katrina Detweiler goes back to serve for IU East.
That was a great play in transition by IU East. That's something that I know Coach Niekamp thought that made the difference in the IU Kokomo match. IU Kokomo was able to put together a lot of plays like that, quick response. Very nice transition there by IU East.
IU East has to cut back within 2, 8-6. And that one out of bounds off the Tigers. A point to the Red Wolves, 8-7.
IU East, I'm not sure if it's being called or audible, but they seem to think they found something on some of these short serves, a couple of outright aces. That one seemed to get Georgetown out of system by their standards. See if the Red Wolves go to that when they are in need of some points.
That one blocked out of bounds by Dobbs. A point to the Tigers, 9-7. Here's the serve from Lauren Schneidmiller. And that one out of bounds into the bleachers, and a point to the Red Wolves, now 9-8, one-point game.
No hesitation by Morgan Dobbs on that swing. She had an opening, and there's definitely not, you mentioned that quick eye-hand coordination. There's not enough time to think. She went up with, if you're from the IU East perspective, with good intentions and had a good result from it.
Caroline Mayer there with the kill for the Tigers, 10-8.
Muha in the net is the call there. Corey doesn't appear to agree. I wouldn't either if I was out there, but point to IU East. If I was out there, I would say I never, ever, 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 ever touch the net if I was one of those front row players.
All right, there's the serve from Madison Yoder, 10-9, and then that one will be right to the side of Detweiler. A point to the Tigers, 11-9. All in all, a lot of great volleyball between the two teams.
Yeah, the second half of the second set, and so far early in the third, I would say pretty high quality performance for both sides. if you're IU East, you'd like to eliminate a few of those. As a tennis guy, I call them unforced errors, and if that was the case, they'd be up 2 instead of down 2. But as far as overall level of play, I don't think no complaints if you're on the IU East side of the net.
Tigers players diving everywhere, trying to keep the ball alive, but a point to the Red Wolves, 11-10. And that's going to tie it up after that one goes out of play at 11.
Another short serve. I think they definitely think they've found something. We'll see if it continues to pay off.
The Red Wolves really with their first lead since I believe early on in the first set.
Yeah, 2-0 in the first set is the last one I can remember. So.
And that one stays in play. 2-point lead now for the Red Wolves. The Red Wolves have the lead here in the third set, 13-11. We'll be right back with more IU East Volleyball on the Red Wolves Sports Network. Hello, I'm Caleb Gillock, the host of Inside IU East Sports, a show where we talk with coaches, players, and other guests about what's happening with IU East athletics.
In the top 100 high school seniors.
Last year we were fortunate enough to do a variety of things on the track and then off to be able to be considered.
Make sure to join us on Friday nights at 8:30 p.m. on WETV Channel 20. And welcome back to IU East Volleyball on the Red Wolves Sports Network. IU East with their first lead since 2-0 in the first set. They have the 13-11 lead here in the third set against the Georgetown College Tigers. Georgetown, however, has the 2-0 lead. So the Red Wolves trying to get a win here in the third to have a chance to win this thing, Kyle.
Yeah, one of Coach Niecamp's favorite terms, at least in the interviews I do with her, is raise your game to meet the level of play on the other side of the net. And for basically the second half of the second set and throughout this third set, IU East has done exactly that. Georgetown's had a few errors creep in that I suspect they are not pleased with, but for the most part, I think IU East has really raised its level. See if they've basically done it for a set, for 2 half sets. Let's see if they can do it for a full third set.
It seems like now that they've also played several nationally ranked opponents that they're really hanging with this team here in the third set, and it should make an interesting rest of the season.
Having played that many, then after a certain point, then you know what you're getting into. You know what you're going to face. So I think even though you don't want to lose, those experiences, at least in this set, are starting to pay off. The trick is, can you do it when you're not playing a top 25 team? That, by all accounts, didn't happen for the Red Wolves when they were at IU Kokomo on Thursday. So see if they can keep playing well here. And then here's the real key. Can you maintain that type of level of play when you're not playing top 25 teams for the rest of the season?
Red Wolves with their largest lead of the afternoon, a 5-point lead, 16-11 here in the third.
Now IU East starting to get some free points, some serves starting to drop, getting some free balls, something that makes life a lot easier on your side of the net. So IU East getting the advantage of some easy points in that little surge that resulted in that 5-point lead. I think it was 7 points in a row. Weren't the Red Wolves down 11-9?
Yep.
So that's a great run against anyone.
Point to the Tigers makes it 16-12 here in the third set, as here's the serve from Maddie Kunkel. That one out of bounds off the Red Wolves to the left side. Back down to 3 points, 16-13. Nice reaction there, but Lindsay Martindale unable to get the ball back across the net or set there for the Tigers. 17-13, 4-point lead for the Red Wolves.
Just a great swing by Mallory Livingston. And then the 2 steps before, a good pass, a good set, setting it up, but Mallory took care of business with that opportunity.
That one into the net. Gives a point to the Tigers, 17-14. Several of the Georgetown players checking in for the Tigers. Point to the Red Wolves, 4-point lead, 18-14.
So it seems like you've called Morgan Dobbs' name a lot in this set in particular. So it's she's the one when she gets going that kind of gives the Red Wolves many options. There's Mallory in particular. You can count on her for about 4 or 5 kills per set. When Morgan Dobbs gets going, that makes IU East a very dangerous offensive team.
There's a point to the Tigers, 18-15. Stephanie Guerin serving for the Tigers. Nice there by Dobbs. Dobbs once again for the Red Wolves. Although the kill there by Mayer gives a point to the Tigers.
All right,
now a 2-point set, 18-16.
And you want to stop this run as fast as you can if you're IU East. The Red Wolves won, I believe, 7 in a row. Side outed would have been 3 times, so basically traded points 1 point each way 3 times in a row. That's the first time that Georgetown's gotten 2 points in a row since that big run for IU East. So you want to halt that momentum, especially this late in the set. The sooner the better if you're IU East.
It looks like there may have been a little moisture out on the floor, so they got that all cleaned up so no one falls. And that one falls to the floor on the Red Wolves side, makes it a 1-point set, 18-17. Tigers players diving there toward the bench, but a point to the Red Wolves after it goes out of bounds, 19-17.
If you heard someone going, ooh, that was me, I'll take the blame for that. 2 of the Georgetown players collided pretty hard, but it looks like neither, no harm either way. But it looked like a potential for a scary collision there.
That one out of bounds off the Red Wolves toward the bleachers on the far side of the gym. Back to 1 point, 19-18.
Big point here. I don't want to... If you can just stay in front, especially this late in the set, easier said than done, obviously, but just want a good, clean serve receive. Hopefully can lead to a good set, and if you can get a swing on it, that's all you can ask.
That one falls just over the net for the Red Wolves and gives them the 2-point lead, 20-18. Madison Mangus comes back in to serve for IU East. Yeah, they got the scoreboard fixed. It did say 18-2.
I caught my eye as well, definitely. I'm sure the pretty good IU East fan turnout today, I'm sure that would have been caught very quickly. That was a really nice play by the setter, Stephanie Guerin. Georgetown, I believe, uses 2 setters, but I don't recall them using the setter dump a whole lot in this match. She picked if you're a Georgetown fan, a very opportune time to do so.
All right, 2019, IU East has the lead. Georgetown just served, and that will be a point to Georgetown to tie it up at 20. So Georgetown has the 2-0 lead, and you're tied up at 20 in the third set. Do you take a timeout and regroup, or do you play it out to the end?
Well, if they get ahead by 2 or 3, you're definitely going to want to take a timeout. At this point, I mean, the momentum has kind of twitched Georgetown's way, but it's not really seeing a term I've heard before is system breakdown. I wouldn't say that's the case. But if Georgetown wins this one, then, yeah, you got to think about doing something to break the momentum.
21-20. Georgetown has the lead. That one tipped off of the Tigers and ties it up at 21 for the Red Wolves.
I believe Georgetown's used both of theirs in this set. I think IU East has been able to keep both of theirs in this set, if you are looking to take a timeout.
That point to the Red Wolves, 22-21. I'm not quite sure what happened.
I think, again, if my guess is right, I think Georgetown already used both their timeouts. I think they wanted to use one there. Once you use two, you're out. It's not like tennis or NFL. If you challenge a replay, you can get an extra one. Once you're out, you're out.
Kill there by the Tigers ties it up at 22.
All right, we saw this situation last set. What can you do under pressure when the pressure's on? It's one thing to play when it's 10-10, one thing to build a lead when it's the scores in the teens. Can you execute at a high level against a good team when the money's on the line?
There's the serve from number 12, Lindsay Martindale. And a point to the Tigers, 23-22. Here's the serve from Martindale. Gilton goes out of bounds off of Livingston, 24-22, match point.
Now that's a mistake you can live with. That sounds crazy because it puts the Tigers at match point, but it wasn't really an unforced error. Mallory took a swing. She missed the line by a foot. If you're going to go down, you want to go down swinging. So prefer not to go down at all, but if you're going to go down swinging, and Mallory comes right back with another strong attack there.
24-23. After that point goes to the Red Wolves. Almost everyone inside the gym right now on their feet.
Standing for, obviously, big home crowd standing for what is for the Tigers match point.
Red Wolves doing a great job of keeping the ball alive right here at the end of the third set. And a kill there by number 8. That's Courtney Grafton will bring the third set to a close as Georgetown takes the win. And the third set, 25-23, correct?
Yes.
All right. Didn't know exactly what happened. I looked up at
the scoreboard has IU East winning. We'll certainly take it, but unfortunately, error in our favor that is not going to stand.
All right, well, Georgetown takes the 3-0 win with scores of 25-18, 25-22, and 25-23. Kyle, what did you think about today's matchup?
Well, I mean, a better performance for IU East. I guarantee they're kicking themselves to some extent, wishing they had performed at this level against Kokomo in the conference game on Thursday. So that's two top 25 opponents they played in their most recent matchups where really 4 of the 6 sets could have gone either way. However, all of them went the way of the other team if you're looking at it from the IU East perspective. So if you're kind of charting the progress of the team this year, okay, they've played top 25 teams. They've gotten the score into the 20s a lot of times against top 25 teams. So the next step is can you take that next step and be the first 25? In other words, be the one to execute better on those money points to start winning some of these sets.
All right, well, it looks like Coach Abby Niekamp is right here in front of us. She makes her way up the bleachers. Coach, thanks for joining me. Of course, nice game this afternoon against a tough-ranked team, the number 13 ranked Georgetown College. What did you think about this afternoon's matchup?
You know, we changed a few things coming into this game, so we were just hoping for a good fight, and I think we gave Georgetown that. They're a great team, and I think we held our own against them.
What did you think about the way that IU East played this afternoon?
You know, we had our ups and downs. Like I said, we switched a few things. We changed Trini and Dobbs in the lineup, kind of trying to get a little bit different look on opportunities out there for them, so I think we're still trying to figure it out.
With the way that we competed with a 13th ranked team today, how do you think that's going to play out in our favor the rest of the season?
You know, every opportunity that we get to play a ranked team is a great one. We came off a tough loss to Kokomo this week, so hopefully we can get back into conference play.
All right, well, just down the road at Earlham later this week on Wednesday. What do we expect for that matchup?
Hopefully another tough game for us, but a lot of energy coming out of it.
All right, Coach, thanks for joining me.
Thank you.
Once again, great job this afternoon.
Thank you.
All right, well, once again, Georgetown College takes the 3-0 win over the IU East Red Wolves with scores of 25-18, 25-22, and 25-23. Of course, the next match for the Red Wolves at Earlham College on Wednesday. That starts at 7 p.m. You can catch that here on the Red Wolves Sports Network and also on WETV. I'm Caleb Gillock. Thanks for joining us. Once again, Georgetown takes the 3-0 win here at Georgetown College.